Fishing with Crimpy, in association with the fishing paper on News Talk ZB.
We're going fishing on Crimpy's Fishing Show. We're going fishing on Crimpy's Fishing Show.
Fishing without Crimpy this morning. Good morning. Crimpy is under the weather at the moment, so he's not in this morning. I've got a special guest with me keeping me company because it's awful lonely in here by yourself. The man I've got with me is a man of action. He's an action man. He's done it. He's been there. He's done it. He keeps on doing it. Mr. Troy Dando. Troy is the club captain of Nelson's Dawnbreakers Fishing Club. It is Fishing Club, isn't it?
Yep, it is Fishing Club. Yep.
And, well, jigger extraordinaire and just out there doing it all the time.
Jeez, that's a big wrap, isn't it?
Good morning. How are you going?
Morning. How are you?
Yeah, good. Jeez, we're looking back. It's been a phenomenal autumn around the top of the south area, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think we've been quite blessed with warm currents coming into the bay, and those currents have brought in the fish. So,
have you seen anything like it before?
No, not that I can remember. I mean, the snapper back in, I think it was 77, when they sort of got taken out a little bit, and things haven't been the same since then, but this year certainly would rival back then, I think, especially for the size of the fish that we've had.
What's incredible, we started a couple of years ago and we'd get an 18-pounder and a photo for the fishing paper. And we'd be like, geez, yeah, come on, let's get this story really good. 18-pounders are okay. Then it got to the 20-pounders. Oh, great, yeah, 20-pound, you're into it. 20-pounders are okay. We've had 28s, we've had 31s, and dotted everywhere, from the Kenepuru Sound to the middle of Tasman Bay to even off the front of Nelson's Rabbit Island there. Yeah,
no, it's unbelievable. When you hear these big fish, you sort of think of the North Island. That's about the only place, and of course Kenepuru is always the big fish capital of this area. But no, there's certainly been some awesome size big snapper coming into the bay, and I don't know, I suppose Kenepuru and that hasn't fished that well this year, and makes you wonder whether some of that fish is from that area.
Migrating.
There's certainly a lot of warmer water coming into the bay this season, so that could have a lot to do with it, I think.
Because there was a 16-pounder caught off the beach at Amberley in North Canterbury.
Yeah.
Well, snapper off the beach in North Canterbury. That sounded like a fairy tale.
Yeah, I think overall, even if take the big fish out of it, there's still a lot more fish around. There's certainly been, we've had a lot of panty-sized fish over the years. The last probably 4 or 5 years I started building up, but this year, I mean, they're just everywhere, and I haven't seen anything like it. And you go down the port and you have a look around the areas there, just the feed that's in the water, the karwai that are around, the bait fish. It's just unbelievable. I mean, there's fish everywhere, all different types of fish, not just snapper.
Well, we had. I was telling Crimpy the other week. I took the kids down one Sunday afternoon down to the main wharf there. We dangled a line over the side and got 2 really nice gurnard.
Yep.
Now, my son was really cheesed off because he wanted spotties. They were going to get how many fish they could catch. That's the idea. Whatever you could get. But we had gurnard for tea.
Yeah. There's been some excellent sized snapper caught right in the harbour itself. I've seen them, the kayak fishermen out there giving it heaps most early mornings, and most people are just driving right past them in their boats and going out the front. But if you actually sit there and get in close and be quiet around some of the moorings and things like that, there's some really, really good fish in there. Do
you reckon they'll drop off now? I mean, the colder weather's coming in, but what's the water temperature doing? Is it getting much colder?
Yeah, it's certainly. I noticed last weekend when I was out, we've gone down to just under 15 degrees now, and with that, the old spiky dogs are coming, and the fish are starting to definitely move out into that deeper water. So I think from now on it'll be a little bit of a struggle without going further north. But I mean, there's still good gurnard, there's still a heap of karwai around, and
yum smoked karwai. I love it.
And I suppose if the fish don't go that far, there's that many around, then they may be back early. Remember October, you're normally starting to get into them again, so
watch the space.
Yeah, I mean, there's just scalloping to do in between and wait for them to come back.
Just dreaming about it. Hey, we're fishing without Crimpy this morning. Troy Dando's on deck with us, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes. Just a reminder, though, the new fishing paper, the latest fishing paper, will be on the streets this day next week.
Fishing with Crimpy, in association with the Fishing Paper on News Talk ZB.
Well, as I said, it's fishing without Crimpy. You've got Darren and Troy this morning. Crimpy's he's getting a lie in this morning, lucky bugger. These frosty mornings, but never mind. And we're talking to Troy, who's the captain of Nelson's Dawnbreakers Fishing Club, and he spends a lot of time on the water, which is great. Fishing clubs. Why would you join a fishing club? I mean, what's it all about? Isn't it about getting out there and doing your own thing? And why?
Yeah, well, I think most people, I know certainly when I first started out, I mean, I've been fishing all my life, but I mean, like, every now and again it's a social type of thing as well. It's not just about the fishing, but I mean, you go and meet people and, hopefully just get involved in some of the activities that they're doing, see new areas that they're going to, and try some different techniques, maybe different types of fishing. And we've really opened the club up this year. We've got kayakers in there, there's free diving, divers, boat fishing, land-based.
Seems to be getting stronger too, which is good.
Yeah, we're really giving it a push this year, and we certainly want more and more members in there. The more that's there, the better. And I think this year it's done quite well. We've changed the whole format, so you can wave fishing all year round now, and it's not just based on a weekend.
Yeah, that's a good thing because you can accumulate points, can't you, throughout there? So you've got the way stations are. I know the Fishing Paper in Nelson. I mean, this is very Nelson focused. Who else does?
We've got Port Nelson Rentals and Fuels.
Oh
they're
it's
awesome.
the service station down by the ramp.
Yep. So they've been doing it most weekends, and Bernard's done an excellent job down there for the club. And I mean, they've probably been the mainstay for weighing in, and of course a great bait station and everything as well. Mario and that Big Blue and Dive, they've also helped out down there, so they support the club quite well. Yeah. And so.
Okay, so it's not. Well, how do your competitions work within a club? Do you have to have most accumulated weights, or do you target species, or what?
Yep.
What does it generally work?
So it's normally a points-based system. So it's per kilo. So like a top of the line fish, like game fish, snapper, they're 10 points a kilo, and it's the most points at the end of the year. And you'll have like a senior champion. And then you also got boat points, so whatever boat they were caught on.
Okay,
you invite all the good fishermen out on your boat and try and rack up as many points as you can. And there's obviously junior points as well. And and like we also have the biggest for each species, like kingfish and snapper, blue cod, trevally, anything like that.
Yeah, monthly meetings or monthly social gatherings.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're based at the Nelson Suburban Club. So once a month we'll have a social evening on a Saturday night there, and that's open to anyone if they want to come along. Definitely stick your nose in.
Is there any truth ever told at these things, or is it all...
Well, we've actually been quite serious this year. We've had a lot of very, very good speakers come in, and I mean, the knowledge that's come out from some of the speakers has been unbelievable. We had a couple of months ago, we had the Coast Guard boating education people, which we were really trying to push people through day skippers courses. We've had people from NIWA, we've had MAF come in and talk about fishing and talk about blue cod.
Good, yeah.
So it's been really, really good, and each night we'll have one club member speak about a different type of fishing. Like last month I spoke about kingfishing, techniques and the gear. We'll have snapper, and so there's a lot of really, really good information that comes out.
And people don't mind sharing the info?
Amazingly, I don't think anyone's walked out of any of those and said they haven't learnt something. I mean, Ron, who's a gun on the old...
Our Mr. Prestige?
Mr. Prestige, he's a gun on the old... surf casting, and I just couldn't believe the gear that he had and the techniques. I mean, it was just mind-blowing.
He's been there, done that, hasn't he, from years gone by, He's a font of knowledge, that man. No, it's great that they can share it and spread it around. But we've got to take another break very shortly. When we come back, I think we want to talk kingfish. And you've got some phenomenal
subject,
and you've got some phenomenal stuff on YouTube. It's an absolute buzz. But I mean, the questions I want to ask you, I'll put them to you after the commercial break. But do you need all the flash gear? Let's talk about that very shortly. We're fishing without Crimpy this morning on News Talk ZB in association with the Fishing Paper. And a reminder, the June issue, June, halfway through the year, the June issue will be on the streets next Saturday. So keep your eyes peeled for it.
Fishing with Crimpy in association with the Fishing Paper on News Talk ZB.
Well, fishing without Crimpy this morning. Talking to Troy Dando. Troy, Kingfish, look, your face lit up when I said we're going to talk Kingfish. It's just an absolute buzz. What is it? What is it about Kingfish? Why?
Oh, it's the battle.
Yeah.
Like they say, I mean, if marlin fought like kingfish, I reckon you'd never ever catch one. So it is a big battle, and I've got probably all the best of the gear that you can get, and I still get dusted off all the time. So you start getting into the good fish, and it is a sport. It's you against them.
It is a buzz,
and you don't get them all, and I think that's what the main
challenge
thing is. Yep, it is. Yep.
You've got all the good gear, but I mean, I was talking to someone the other day who thought they'd like to get into the Kingfish. They've got a reasonably sized tinny, 15-footer. But what do you need to start off? I mean, they've got that challenge. They tried trolling up the Boulder Bank in the summer, which limited to success. But where do you start?
Well, it depends on what you're doing. I mean, there's trolling, there's jigging, there's popper fishing, and it all costs money. I mean, most people probably got sufficient gear, if they've got a groper rod or something like that, a TLD 50 or something like that, Shimano gear. Mm-hmm. It's a big, robust reel, and it'll handle a few kings without a doubt. And I've seen people jigging those things, and I've seen them using trolling as well. So that's it's probably gear that people already got. Now, it's not going to last, doing heaps of kingfish, and it's not the most comfortablest gear to use. And it's just like anything. The more you get into it, the better gear you get. It's the same with rods. I mean, you can go out and use a broomstick and catch a fish, but you're getting hurt more than what the fish is.
Yeah.
So as it goes, you will move up to better gear. Jigging gear. It's not cheap to get into jigging gear without a doubt.
I mean, jigging's the go thing now. Is it going to last, or is it going to be one of those trends?
Well, I think the whole sport evolves all the time.
Yeah,
I mean, we had back in the day of the Blue Fox little jigs and the Grim Reapers, and we've moved into the Japanese long jigs and the different styles of speed jigging and mechanical jigging. So it'll definitely evolve. I mean, we're sort of in the slow jigs as well now.
Yeah,
Jakus and things like that. So it'll all evolve. I mean, the main thing I'd say to people when they're buying gear, you might spend up to $2,000 on a rod and reel. It's quite expensive for the top of the line stuff. You can still get a reasonable set for maybe around $800. But the main thing is, don't treat it as jigging gear. Treat it, use it for everything.
Right. Yeah.
And that way you get your money's worth. Because if you go jigging twice a month, you think it's quite expensive. But if you go fishing 4 times a month, and you're using it for snapper and trolling, and
you're getting your money back, aren't you?
And I do. I use my rods for everything. So that's probably the main thing to think about.
We were talking about the size of fish earlier, too, with the big snapper around the place. It seems the kingfish are getting bigger too. Any theories? I mean, what is it? Why?
Yeah, well, it was quite interesting to see the fish Peter Connolly tag getting caught down south.
Yes.
And that was the first one we had, and there's literally hundreds of tagged fish out there. So I would have thought maybe one of ours got caught at the bottom of the North Island. It hasn't happened. So I think we might have a group of kingfish that are just going around and around the South Island. So they're not getting the pressure on because there's no real kingfish fishery anywhere else in the South Island.
Yeah.
Apart from Nelson.
Yep.
There's a little bit, the Christchurch boys smack it over a little bit down there. And, we've heard of catches down near Bruce Bay and places like that.
Yep.
But no one's really targeting the fish apart from Nelson. So the fish should be getting big.
So they're going away, getting big, and coming home again in summer.
Yeah, and it might be like Nelson's a breeding area for them as well. I mean, they're certainly in fantastic condition in the middle of winter, and that's not to be confused with the summer fish that we get, which are probably North Island fish that are coming down here.
Yeah.
But they're completely little skinny rat kingfish
compared
to what we normally get.
And we're moving in now, aren't we, into the big kingfish season, the winter.
Yep.
And that's up in the deeper water around the D'Urville Island, Stevens Passage area.
Yep, anywhere around D'Urville pretty much at this time of the year, deeper water.
Yeah.
It's a bit colder water up there. They're hanging around those areas.
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. And you got some plans to get out as often as possible?
Oh, yep, every weekend without fail.
Oh, good on you. Troy, thank you very much for filling in this morning. We've got to go. We'll be back next week. Hopefully the boss will be feeling a bit brighter with his health, and we'll get into it then. Fishing with Crimpy, in association with the Fishing Paper on News Talk ZB.